Medical meetings are a vital part of the association meeting sector, and I'm talking to Thomas Reiser of the Society on Thrombosis and Haemostasis to find out the kind of meetings he holds and the challenges he faces. Thomas Reiser, it's great to be here at RSMP with you and the rest of the crew. Tell us a little bit about your association and the kind of events that you hold.
Sure. Well, thanks Ian for inviting me to have a chat with you, and it's great to be here at the ICCA RSMP. I think it's a great event. Our organization is the International Society on Thrombosis and Haemostasis, and we're really focusing on bleeding disorders, clotting and bleeding, so both sides of the coin. Our events, so we're a medical professional society, very much focused on education, and our events are essentially threefold. We have large world congresses which provide the latest science and education. Then we have the meetings of our standardization and scientific committee, which focuses on really bringing more working groups together that talk about very practical clinical issues and how to standardize them so that the entire research community can actually, and clinical community can move forward on the same basis. And then we do small education courses in various parts of the world, where it's really about bringing content, education and connections to local communities.
And what major challenges are you facing at the moment when it comes to organising the events?
I think we're in a more and more complex world. We would love to go everywhere, but it is obviously a resource issue. And then it is also increasingly complex in terms of visa aspects, fiscal, legal aspects, risk management, and so on. So you just got to be a little bit smart about how you approach it and make sure you get your mission accomplished, but at the same time I'll also be business savvy about it.
And with respect to the industry you're in, it's kind of it has to move forward all the time because that's the whole ethos behind the actual sector itself and the research element. How difficult is that for you as an organiser to keep up with it, and also particularly on the regulation side within the medical field?
That's a good question. First of all, let me start with the regulation side. I mean, that's a moving target, and we constantly have to keep up to speed, and that actually works in different ways. First of all, trade publications help us a lot to know what's going on. Organizations like ICCA and other groups always provide a forum for exchange, and the peer network. Where has somebody been? What have they experienced? What can we learn from them? That's important. In terms of the innovation side and new opportunities, but also challenges, works a little bit the same way. We follow very closely what the trade press reports on. Best practices are always important. As a matter of fact, I think convention bureaus, destination partners can play an enormous role here in really helping us stay on top of things, connect with others who have done things, learned things. We try to get the best practice out of it and then apply whatever is relevant to us.
So you do view this relationship as a real partnership, not just, hey, with the clients, yes, do this for us. And you think that's absolutely critical in creating better events?
Absolutely. Honestly, I hate the term supplier. I hate the term vendor. It is really a partnership. We just talked about win-win in the session before. Understanding each other, understanding what do we want to get out of this partnership, and then work together. Because ultimately, I believe that if it's a true partnership, if you create a true win-win, ultimately it will, and now I see it selfishly as the organization, it will be best for us.
And you've been quite heavily involved this week, so clearly you value what ICCA does here. First of all, just briefly tell us, how you've been interacting with the delegates.
Try to do as much networking as possible, really go up to people, try to talk to them. But it's also very interesting to just see how you are approached yourself. And I made the point in many different sessions, it's all about networking. It's actually about your own personal brand that you then, as an individual, that then you also, if you want, superimpose onto the destination or the company that you're working with. So I think that is critically important, and I think completely underutilized still by the individuals. So hopefully that's going to increase. So to a certain degree, I'm also taking a little bit of a reactive approach to just see what happens towards me. All of them should actually be on my case and want to talk to me, want to ask me questions, and so yeah. And I truly believe in venues like ICCA and other professional societies because I can actually learn a ton. I get excellent feedback. I make very important connections myself. Some of the people that I've met several years ago at events like this now run convention bureaus. So it's all positive, actually.
Yeah, so the contact's key for you, because ultimately you need to find the new venues, the new destinations, as well as those that have the correct amount of quality. And what's really interesting in what you've just said there is that although you buy destinations, you buy venues and you buy hotels and whatever, what you buy is people.
Yeah. Absolutely, 100% correct. I mean, obviously you have to have a good product in terms of your solution or your infrastructure or whatever, but if you do not have the team to interact with the client to make the whole infrastructure work, it's not useful. The Rye here in Amsterdam, and that's not a pitch for the Rye, but it's a great example. It's a great venue, but the service-mindedness, the proactiveness, the solution-focused approach was very impressive at our Congress.
Yeah, well, I've certainly enjoyed it. Thomas, that was really fascinating. Thanks for talking to me.
Ian?